to my channel. I am so out of breath because I'm pregnant. If you can't tell by the title, we are going to do a pregnancy update. My first pregnancy update since announcing this pregnancy. I am pregnant with my second baby. I have an almost 2-year-old, and man, this pregnancy has been way different, way harder in some ways, harder in some ways, easier than in other ways. But I'm going to be answering questions that you guys asked me here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Just kind of like filling you in on this pregnancy. So today, when I'm filming this, I am almost 16 weeks, which is insane. Like literally this has flown by, and I'm saying that even like knowing that the first trimester, like as horrible as it was, it did fly by. I feel like the second time around it just goes so much faster. We don't know the gender yet. I'm gonna find out at the 20-week scan. I don't know if I'm gonna be sharing, haven't decided yet, but yeah, crazy things. So let's start with some YouTube questions. How are you feeling, and what's your tip on being pregnant and taking care of a toddler? I got that question a lot. I wish that I had tips. Honestly, like nap when they nap. If your toddler is still napping, literally do not do any housework. Do not do anything. Everything else is gonna fall to the wayside. Nap. Like this pregnancy, I would say that has been my main thing, is extreme exhaustion. And it does not help that my son is a not great sleeper. I hate saying bad sleeper, but he's just not a good sleeper. He never has been. I've tried everything. It's just the way he is. And so like I wasn't even getting a full night's rest before I got pregnant, then going straight into first trimester exhaustion. And when I was in my very first like few weeks, we were going through the 18-month sleep regression. And I don't mean to scare anybody if you're like getting close to that age, but seriously, that was way worse than any sleep regression we have been through so far. Like excruciating. I mean, I cannot even explain to you. I don't know how we made it out alive, and I handle the wake ups primarily alone, like Monday through Friday. My husband gets up really early for work, and it just makes most sense. He helps me on the weekends, but like it was so hard. So naps were like crucial to me. I was taking, you know, a 1 to 2 hour nap every day when he would nap, and then usually like 2 more naps if I could, like a 20-minute one when Austin got home, and another one, or just whatever. If we were in like the car for more than 5 minutes, I napped. Like seriously, I was out like that. That's how tired I was. It was insane. I've never experienced anything like it. But the other part of that question is, how am I feeling? I'm feeling good now. I'm finally getting my energy back. I'm finally not having as many like dizzy spells. I have like essentially no nausea now. I'm starting to get heartburn. If you've been here since my first pregnancy, dude, I seriously must be cursed, because I had terrible heartburn in my first pregnancy from like 18 weeks on, and it just never got better. It only got worse, and he didn't even have a lot of hair. And now I'm not even that far along, and I've had heartburn since like, I want to say 5 weeks, and it's just so bad. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now, starting to feel a little bit more normal and easing into my second trimester. Does the new house have space you'd want to use for a home birth, or are you hoping for birth center still? Either way, you're gonna crush it. We're still hoping for the birth center. I loved my first birth experience. Honestly, like I have literally no complaints. I did a birth center delivery, and I got to deliver in the tub, and just like, even though my labor was excruciating because I had back labor and it was really long, I loved every bit of it, and it was just like such a cozy experience. And honestly, like it's similar to a home birth. I've never done a home birth, obviously, but like I was home and in my bed within 5 hours of delivery, so it was really great. I hope I have a healthy enough pregnancy to do it again. There's like some risks and complication factors involved that if you have like this, you can't deliver at the birth center. It's just like legal things. So obviously praying for like a complication-free pregnancy so that I can do that. Otherwise, we will have to do the hospital, and I really would like to avoid that. I'm just like such a big baby when it comes to anything medical. I've always been really afraid of hospitals, always been really afraid of doctors, and I just know I would not feel comfortable, but we will do whatever we need to do. Anything you plan on doing differently this pregnancy? Honestly, I planned on doing things a lot differently. I ate really healthy and worked out the whole time with my first pregnancy, but I wanted to do it even better this time. I was like, I'm gonna eat even better and feel amazing because I'm gonna be taking care of a toddler and I wanna have energy. And that has just not been the case. First trimester was survival only. I've been like so embarrassed by how I have had to eat to get by. And I'm finally starting to like crave healthier foods again and able to have like a little bit of energy to work out and just like take better care of myself. So in that aspect, like I've done things differently, but not on purpose. Like it's just been so much harder to do pregnancy the way I did before. But as far as things I want to do differently, I want to start drinking raspberry tea a lot sooner. I didn't start till 30 weeks last time, and I'd like to start sooner. And I'm hoping to do like a lot more stretching and inversions and like paying attention to the way that I'm like lounging in bed, because I had back labor due to the position he was in, and I didn't really realize how much like sitting and working from home was affecting the position he was in. So this time I'm like planning to really pay attention to my posture, how I'm sitting, how I'm spending my day, because I'm not doing back labor again. I can't. I literally will not survive. Oh, how old was Belle when you decided to start trying? I think he was like 15 or 16 months when we decided to start like actually trying. We weren't preventing before that because I just kind of assumed it would happen when it would happen. But I didn't feel like all of a sudden ready until around 15 or 16 months. I just felt like, I don't know, I felt so confident all of a sudden that he was ready to be a big brother and that I was ready to love two babies. Because before that, I had like such fear around splitting my love between two kids. And I know that every mom says like, you don't think you can do it, and then you have your kid and like your heart just grows. But I don't know, I just like didn't feel ready to add to it. But now it feels so good. It was like an overnight thing. I had been praying though that God would like change my heart on that and help me work through that and decide, you know, help me to decide when we would be ready. But obviously it's like all in his timing, because we didn't get pregnant until Belle was 18 months. So yeah, but that's when I started tracking my cycle, tracking ovulation. I was taking ovulation strips every day. That helped a ton with trying to conceive. Do you have any gut feelings on the gender? I do. I feel like it's a boy. I feel like I only feel that way because I had a boy the first time, and I'm like, how could I have anything different? I would love either gender. I don't know why, I just do not feel like it is a girl. And that is exactly how I felt when I was pregnant with Bellamy. Like every part of me was like, this baby is a boy. So even at the anatomy scan, like it was not surprising. They were like, yep, he's a boy. And I was like, I literally knew. And Austin feels the same way. He feels like it's a boy. Everyone else around us is like team girl. So I'm team healthy baby, but not gonna lie, I would love a girl. I would love like the dynamic of a brother and sister so close in age, but like brother and brother too would be so fun. How did you get through your first trimester, and what can I expect in the second trimester? In my first trimester and really struggling. The way I got through was just day by day, like truly. And I think it helped that I'm so busy this time around taking care of another person, because I don't have as much time to like sit and overthink and overanalyze things. It's like the weeks fly by this time. I feel like the first time around I just sat around and was like, okay, when will I be this week? When will I be this week along? And it just felt like it lasted forever. But yeah, taking it moment by moment. And then like actual practical tips, I would say eat as often as you can. Like literally, even if you're not hungry, eat a small snack, like a handful of almonds, a spoonful of peanut butter, something. Even if you don't have an appetite, keeping yourself full like makes a huge difference in how you feel at the end of the day. And hydration, like every time you think of it, take a sip of water, take a sip of coconut water, something. because I feel like all my symptoms got so much worse if I was hungry or dehydrated, and it was so easy to get there because I didn't have an appetite and I was not thirsty. So just day by day, talking to friends, asking for prayer. I don't know, first trimester is just weird. It really is weird, but I promise you get to the other side and you're like, oh, this is like the bliss everyone was talking about. Second trimester, you start to feel the baby move and you start showing a little bit, you feel better. You're like really finally accepting the fact that you're pregnant, and like, I don't know, I feel like it's like the baby moon phase. So you can expect better things in the second trimester for sure. Did you have any symptoms before you tested positive? Just the exhaustion, like seriously, so exhausted. So exhausted. I think I literally got a positive test like as early as you possibly can, because I had only been like 6 days past ovulation and I got like a very, very, very faint line. So I actually kept testing like day after day after day after day after that first test because I wanted to make sure my lines were getting darker. So I tested very early. I think I was not even 2 weeks pregnant when I found out. But yeah, I was extremely tired and I cried at everything. Like literally everything made me cry. A butterfly lands on the car, I'm crying. Bellamy does something cute, I'm crying. Austin says a sarcastic joke that usually would be funny to me, I'm crying. Like everything made me literally cry, sob. It was ridiculous. And my mom even was like, you're extra emotional, I think you're pregnant. I was like, no. And I was. What are some things you are confident about with this pregnancy versus the first time around? I feel so much more confident this time around. I feel like I have less fear. I definitely am less fearful of labor. I'm like, I did it once, I can do it again. There's no way out but through. And like, I feel like really confident in my instincts as a mother and my ability as a mother. And I don't know, I feel ready to tackle the newborn phase. I'm probably gonna kick myself because this time it's gonna be different. I'm gonna have a toddler and a newborn. I'm expecting that first month to be hard, but I feel like really ready and super confident going into it. Not saying I'm gonna like rock it or do amazing. I just think I'm ready for how hard it's gonna be. That's how I feel. I'm like, bring on the challenge. I love, you know, I love the challenge of postpartum, and postpartum's so cozy to me and just like a beautiful time. Birth is like my favorite thing in the world. And I'm just ready to experience all of it again. And I just feel a lot more confident in knowing like I am not in control of any of this. It's all in God's hands, and that's that. That's definitely one thing pregnancy will teach you, and motherhood in general will teach you, is you are not in control. Not over a single thing. Is this the reason that you moved to your new house? How do you like the new home? It's not the whole reason that we moved. We weren't even looking to move. Found out we were pregnant. I thought we were going to be bringing that baby home to that house, our old house. And then I haven't really shared much, but basically this all happened so quickly. It was a huge opportunity for us to have like a financial blessing by selling our last home and somehow get a bigger home. I thought we would have to downsize. And so yeah, I think this will be the home that we end up raising all of our babies in, and they're gonna grow up here. And yeah, it's not the reason that we moved, but it was definitely like a little bit more of a push, like, okay, maybe we should look into it. And we were already thinking about selling our house just because of how the market was going in our area. Our specific area that we had lived in previously was like very sought after, even if it was a very small home. Just the city we were in was so like family friendly and up and coming. So that's why we made the decision to sell and move. But baby number 2 definitely like gave us an extra push. How are you doing since Bellamy isn't sleeping through the night still? Did that affect you when you started trying for another? I'm feeling so much better about his sleep. I don't know why it's taken me this long to just kind of accept it and accept the reality that like I'm a mother, and honestly a good night of sleep is never gonna look the same. It's never gonna be, you know, 8 to 9 hours straight of restful, peaceful sleep uninterrupted. I'm a mom. My kids are gonna get sick. My kids are gonna get teeth. They're gonna go through sleep regressions, and like it's just gonna be a thing for the rest of forever. And honestly, like, letting go of what my idea of a good night of sleep was huge. And now I just go into the night and I'm like, I don't need I don't need uninterrupted sleep to get through my day tomorrow. Like, God will give me what I need to get through my day tomorrow, and I don't look at my phone to see how many times he's woken up, because I don't need to know. I feel like that was making it worse. And in the morning, instead of being like, I was up 5 times last night, I'm gonna have a terrible day, I'm just like, I was up 5 times last night, but let's go. Like, we got another day ahead of us. And like, just coming to the realization that sleep is not your entire life, even though it feels like it. And I still have nights where it's so hard and I get so sad that I'm not, you know, in that situation that my friends are, where their kids sleep like 12 hours straight. That'll never be me. But just kind of accepting that this is like my reality, and this is a hard part of motherhood, but it's what I signed up for, and I'm giving him what he needs and supporting him. And you know, like, just that him needing me at night is still an essential need for him, and just accepting that. And it's made a huge difference. But literally up until the very, very point that we decided to start trying, I was struggling with it. I had several months where I was like, what is happening? How am I going to keep doing this? How will I ever have another kid? I still have nights like that where I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be up with a newborn when my toddler's still waking up? But I'm just kind of trusting that, you know, when that time comes, God will provide a way for me to get through it, and for me to meet Bellamy's needs and the new baby's needs, and we'll figure it out when we get there, because we will figure it out. So I know that a lot about pregnancy is rough, but is there something that you enjoy? Oh, absolutely. I love being pregnant. The first trimester is so hard, and there's hard parts about second trimester and third. Like, honestly, adjusting to seeing my body change and adjusting to like my new limitations. Like, I'm so weak, so out of breath all the time, and like, I'm just a loser. Like, I literally cannot do as much as I could do before. With this pregnancy, it's just different, and like, that's hard. Seeing myself gain weight or new stretch marks, that's hard, or just whatever. But honestly, I've told Austin, I feel so feminine and like joyful when I am pregnant. I don't know how to explain it. I think it seriously comes from my understanding that this is something that God ordained. Like nobody can explain conception and like pregnancy and birth and all of that without God. Like, God, this is a God-given gift. And like, just my understanding of that, I don't know, it gives me so much joy, and like knowing what comes out of it on the other side, and just all of it is beautiful to me. I love like the coziness. I don't know how to explain it. Pregnancy feels so cozy to me. It feels like a good excuse to like really tap into my feminine side and like homemaking side, and just make my life a peaceful, welcoming environment for a child to come into. I just love it. I think it's so fun. If you just embrace it, I think it can be enjoyable. But that's me saying that, knowing I've had a hard pregnancy so far. Like, I've had insane dizzy spells, days where I can't get out of bed, like nausea, heartburn, stomach flu during pregnancy. Like, my toddler doesn't sleep. I've had a hard pregnancy so far, but I still just love it. Like, it's just so fun. Have you had any cravings or food aversions, and if so, what are they? For a couple weeks I was craving like a turkey sub with a ton of mustard, but that's the only craving I can think of that was like so strong that I had to have it. And then it kind of went away, but now I feel like I'm back to normal with eating and stuff, and I definitely have had a little bit more of a sweet tooth this time around, but not much. And then food aversions, I don't really know. I haven't really had any. That's been a lot different too. I feel like with my first pregnancy I had pretty strong cravings and pretty intense food aversions, but I haven't really had that this time. Oh, and thank goodness, my first pregnancy, sorry, I'm having heartburn. Ooh. My first pregnancy, I had smell aversion so bad. Oh, like every smell. It didn't matter if it was my favorite smell before. every smell made me nearly want to puke. I like couldn't cook for Austin for a while because it was just so bad and I didn't know which smell was gonna set me off. This time that's been fine. The only thing I like could not do for a while was coffee, the smell of coffee. But like the taste of coffee hasn't been that different for me. I just needed to change my espresso beans. Like now I like light roast, but yeah, it's been a little bit easier this time around as far as food goes. Do you have any names picked out? No. No, I do not. I wish that I did, but I don't. When did you start to show? I think I'm just now kind of getting there. I'll do a little bump date for you. So I am, oh, this is terrible lighting, 16 weeks, and I think I'm finally like have a bump that doesn't really go away. It's kind of, you can't really tell. It's kind of a bad angle, but it's like all lower belly right now. I don't feel like I carry up high until like later on, but definitely showing a little bit earlier this time around. Like last time I don't feel like I had anything at all until 20 weeks, and now I definitely have a bit more of something there. So, but I feel like I was just massively bloated to where I looked super pregnant my entire first trimester. Just like insane bloat. So bad. How has Belle acted so far? I like the first half of the first trimester / majority. Very clingy, very whiny, would not play independently, would not nap independently, would not sleep independently, like needed to be on me 24/7. I think they just can tell when something is up, and he could tell, and my energy was so low. I felt like I wasn't like my normal happy, bubbly, fun mom to be around. I could barely play with him, and just I know he could tell. And then we moved, so like there was a major life change on top of a major life change, so we've been through the ringer. But we're finally like in that sunshine state again where he's just himself. He's adjusted to the house. I think he's adjusted to me being pregnant. I try to talk to him a lot about it, even though he's too little to understand. I know it's beneficial to talk to him about it, and I like point to my belly and tell him there's a baby in there, and he loves to help me find the heartbeat with our Doppler that we have. Like he thinks it's so fun, and I know he doesn't understand fully, but yeah, he's adjusted a lot better now. I'm curious to see what he thinks as I get a belly. Like he's very observant. I know he will notice my belly. And I'm still breastfeeding, so I'm curious to see like if my milk is gonna change or like anything like that. I don't know what I'm doing with that. I feel like I got some questions in here too about if I'm gonna wean him, and I have no idea, because my original plan was I was like, I'll have him weaned by 7 or 8 weeks. No. Actually, no, not at all. I am so thankful that I was nursing that whole time, because he was going through a sleep regression or just like whining. It was just the one thing that would let me get rest. I could just pop him on, lay down, we would both rest. And honestly, I don't know what my milk supply is like. I've never really pumped or anything with him. He's been exclusively breastfed. We don't night nurse anymore. We haven't since like, I want to say 15 months. He nurses in the morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, like once, but mostly morning and night, like before bed. And I have no idea how I still have a milk supply, but now I'm kind of feeling like it's increasing because I'm sore. They are getting bigger. And now I'm like, well, shoot, I don't know what to do. So my new saying is that if he's not done by himself by 20 weeks, then I will wean him. But I don't feel like he's gonna be done. That's only a month from now. And I just don't know. I don't feel like I want to tandem feed. I feel like that will really overstimulate me and touch me out and just be a lot. But then I also see the flip side of it being maybe a really easy way for him to adjust to the new baby, a way for them to bond, a way for us to all connect still. I just don't know. I have no idea. I feel like that's a trend with my approach to motherhood. Whenever you guys ask me questions like, are you gonna homeschool? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? If it is a question about the future, I literally have no idea. I literally have no idea. Before I had a kid, I would have had an answer for you. I was a planner before I had a kid. Now that I have one, Don't even ask me about next week. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew. So I will just like keep you guys updated as we go, because I know I have some other followers who are like pregnant and still nursing and are like wanting to stop. I will definitely share if I have helpful information, but I kind of also just thought my milk would dry up. I had heard stories of that when people got pregnant, that their milk dried up, and so I kind of assumed that as I got further along, my milk would dry up and I wouldn't have to wean him. It would just kind of end on its own. But I don't know, I go through phases where I'm like, I'm so ready to be done. And then right now I feel really good. I feel really happy with where we're at. He knows my boundaries now. He knows that I tell him when it's time for milk. We were in a phase where he was just, every time he saw me, milk, 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 like whining, pulling at my shirt. He doesn't really do that anymore. And so now I enjoy it. It's like mutually enjoyable. We just went through like a couple months of that. So I don't know, day at a time. But I think that that is it for my update as far as I know. I don't really have any like crazy symptoms to share or anything like that. I'm starting to feel better, starting to get back into a better routine, and hopefully we'll be able to be more like consistent here on YouTube and sharing more about baby and things like that. My next appointment is next week, so I will be and then after that I think it's like the frequency of my appointments change. My pregnancy update for baby number 2. Thank you guys for praying for me and our family and baby number 2, and like all the congratulations and well wishes and all of that. You guys are literally amazing. Like, I have the best YouTube subscribers. I very rarely get mean comments or anything on here. You guys are just so sweet. I appreciate you so much. Oh, I'm so out of breath. That is the one thing that you guys were commenting, like, I noticed you've been super out of breath lately in your vlogs. I think you might be pregnant. And I was like, shh, stop. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my future uploads and like sharing about the house and about the new baby and just life in general, being pregnant with a toddler and all those good things. And make sure you go out of your way today to love on someone and make them feel extra special, because they are. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.